Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Olumide Macaulay. On today's program, the Supreme Court rules in favor of Mr. Jegede as the governorship candidate of the PDP in the Ondo State governorship elections. Political parties in final campaigns for the Ondo polls. And relief comes the way of internally displaced persons in Yoruba State. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin in the southwest with politics. The coast now appears clear for the participation of Mr. Jegede as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the Ondo State governorship election on Saturday. This comes as the Supreme Court has struck out all interlocutory appeals on the substitution of Mr. Jimo Ibrahim with Mr. Jegede as the candidate of the PDP in the election. Mr. Ibrahim had filed an appeal seeking the nullification of yesterday's judgment of the appeal court recognizing Mr. Jegede as the PDP candidate, in addition to other pending appeals bordering on the candidacy tussle. But at the hearing of the suits today, the Apex Court held that all the appeals have been overtaken by events at the Court of Appeal yesterday, which settled the matter in favor of Mr. Jegede. The Supreme Court asked anyone who was not satisfied with yesterday's judgment to file a fresh appeal. Meanwhile, in Ondo State, candidates in the governorship elections are wrapping up their campaigns ahead of Saturday's poll. During his final rally in Ondo town, the Alliance for Democracy flag bearer, Mr. Olusalaoke, expressed his gratitude to party members and supporters for their steadfastness during the campaign period. He also asked his supporters and other political parties to shun violence in the run-up to the poll.
Some may describe this as the grand entry of the campaign train of Olusalaoke into Ilaoluji and Okeigbo area of Ondo State. And the residents roll out the drums to show solidarity for the candidate of the Alliance for Democracy at the coming governorship election in the state. However, the hitherto peaceful campaign of the party comes under attack, and the result is this vehicle.
This is just one of the series of attacks on our members across the state. Only yesterday we were told some of our members were maimed in a war. The security forces must wake up to their responsibility, because all it takes evil to triumph is for good people to keep quiet. And I am appealing to my people to remain, but there's a limit to which they can listen to me. Someone must be there to call them to order. And I appeal to those who are behind this to drop the idea.
But this will not deter the AD candidate and his men. Their message to the people of Ondo State is better life for the people.
Ondo State will rise again.
The party candidate has his final word for the people to wind down his campaign.
We appeal to all agencies of government involved, INEC and security, to maintain neutrality, not to allow themselves to be used by power-hungry individuals. We have heard rumors of plans being perfected to rig this election, but we advise that nobody should make himself available to be used.
And if this campaign will yield the desired result, the outing at the polls will tell, come November 26th.
Meanwhile, for the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu, victory at the polls come Saturday is assured. He said this during the rally to wrap up his campaign at his hometown in Owo, local government area of Ondo State.
They toured all the 18 local government areas in Ondo State. Now the All Progressives Congress and its supporters are wrapping up the campaign. For them, there's no better place to do this than the hometown of the governorship candidate, Rotimi Akeredolu, in our local government area. The campaign train moved through various towns to get to Owo, where thousands of supporters were on ground to receive their man. The chance of solidarity for Rotimi Akeredolu is almost unending. The APC candidate again reels out his plans for the people. According to him, his policies will cater for not just the people of Owo, but the entire Ondo State.
A lot to be done for the state, not specifically my people. I'm sure that it's a long time and our man headed was the aim of affairs in this state. The roads are not good. You can see where we have been coming from. So there are no industries here. So those are the things we want to do.
Other leaders of the party talk about their level of confidence.
This is our governor, the next governor of the state. There's no doubt about it. We're not going to sound argumentative here. It is obvious. And people are ready for him. And he is ready. He's well prepared to assume the leadership.
If you want development in your state, you must hook on to federal government. Whatever you can do at the state level to be complemented by federal government. You are talking of seaport in our zone. You are talking of Olokola. You are talking of all this development. They are gigantic developments that state cannot handle alone.
The people of Ondo will be left to decide who becomes their next governor.
Your Excellency. Your Excellency.
Away from the Ondo governorship elections, but staying in the southwest, a leader of the Afenifere, the Yoruba socio-cultural group, Mr. Ayo Adebanjo, has asked the federal government to consider implementing recommendations of the 2014 National Conference to overcome some of the challenges the country is facing. Mr. Adebanjo believes the present administration may find some of the contributions useful. He was speaking in Isararemo North Local Government area of Ogun State during a tribute in honor of the late Olaniun Ajayi. Other Yoruba leaders present called on Southwesterners to push for the region's unity, irrespective of their religious or political bias.
The caliber of politicians gathered here shows that there's a kind of meeting where political affiliation is put aside. The governors of Ogun, Oyo, and Osun states are present. Top Afenifere leaders also set aside their political differences to call for renewed unity and cohesion among the Yoruba race.
It's important for all of us to be united. We should be devoid of partisan and what have you. If we have disappointments and disagreements, we should situate it well. We should not now try to now paint maybe the sky black just to score maybe political gains. So it is not right, and I will still talk to our elders when we leave this place. Personally, I feel pain, and I will find time to sit down with our elders. People should not give us. We should not give ourselves. If we give ourselves bad name, tomorrow then what happens? So we should try as much as possible to be united, one front, one goal. Once it affects this, our Yoruba entity, we should take ourselves as one. Anything that will affect us, we must take it. Everybody must fight for it.
Even with the call for unity among their own, the Yoruba leaders know that the southwest region cannot exist in isolation. It was also a good opportunity to touch on some national issues.
No way for Buhari other than to implement the 2014 National Conference. All the uprisings we have over the country, if you prevent that problem, that situation, economic, everything will be solved. Without solving the national question, there can be no political stability in the country. Where there's no political stability, there could be no economic progress.
With one voice, they call for one Nigeria, where everyone's opinion counts in solving the nation's problems. These leaders also know that it may be difficult to unite an entire nation if the geopolitical zones cannot do it among themselves.